I think this tool ultimately is one of those tools that if you begin to apply will be one of the biggest, most revolutionary things that you actually do. Because this will allow you to look at your life in a way where you take especially power and control over the times where things are feeling negative, and you can turn them into something that's not so negative. You can turn it into energy for you to actually propel yourself into the future where you actually begin to fucking succeed. Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm back with another video. It's Spencer from Must Become. Guys, today is part one of the Power of Lenses kind of series that I'm doing. If you haven't already seen it, I have a video that I've released that has to do with the power of lenses. Essentially, I'm talking about the different ways that you can kind of refine ideas and refine problems such that they come out at the end and you're able to apply a more sophisticated solution to these problems. If you haven't seen that video already, please go check it out. It'll explain all the context, and it's something you absolutely need to see in order to understand kind of what I'm talking about here. You only get about 80% of the value here, maybe 75 if you don't watch that other video. Like I said, this is part of a 3 or 4 part series. We'll have to see. I think it's going to be probably 4. But anyway, just as a reminder, I'm Spencer from Must Become. I believe that what you can become, you must become. You're obligated to greatness if you have that potential within you. And I believe that every single person watching this video has that obligation. If you're interested in any of my content, please hit the like button down below. It helps me with the algorithms. Please leave a comment if you're interested in any suggestions or want to just talk with me directly. I respond to every single comment in the comments section. And please hit that notification bell so that you can derive as much value from this platform as possible, because I release videos as often as I can. So every single time I do so, it would be a shame if you didn't get that value that I released that was specifically aimed for you to improve your life. So with that said, let's jump right into this video. Guys, in my previous video, I spoke about in general the power of lenses, and I promised you that I was going to begin to introduce the lenses that I use specifically within my businesses, my fitness, my relationships, and just general day-to-day problems, even my approach to diet with inflammation reduction, all these sorts of things. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the first lens. So this first lens probably doesn't need that much introduction. I'd say of all the lenses that I'm going to speak about in this video series, this one is definitely the most popular. A lot of people have heard of it. I just don't think very many people use it. And it's something absolutely that lots of philosophers throughout the years have spoken about, including all the Stoics. They reference it a whole lot, and they may not say it in these terms, but this is definitely sort of an ideology that they definitely espouse. I think this tool ultimately is one of those tools that if you begin to apply will be one of the biggest, most revolutionary things that you actually do, because this will allow you to look at your life in a way where you take especially power and control over the times where things are feeling negative, and you can turn them into something that's not so negative. You can turn it into energy for you to actually propel yourself into the future where you actually begin to fucking succeed. So this lens, like I said, needs no introduction. This lens is the 30,000 feet lens. Okay, so this lens primarily focuses on the negatives and eradicating negatives. There's really a few applications for this 30,000 feet lens, but let me describe a little bit what it is. It kind of is exactly what it sounds like, okay? So this 30,000 feet lens is essentially when you're dealing with something and you're in the middle of something, consider yourself from 30,000 feet, okay? Zoom out. And when you begin to zoom out, what you'll begin to see is that from a higher vantage point, there's you, but there's others. And there's not just others, there's others and others and others and others, okay? So whatever problem you're struggling with, recognize that lots of other people are struggling with problems. And when you do that, this isn't just to be altruistic and to think about other people, because that's not necessarily what I'm going for. Of course, that's valuable, but this is supposed to be about how to help you personally. I'm not trying to give you some kumbaya shit about how to be a better guy and all that kind of stuff. I'm giving you stuff that will be actionable tools so that you can actually improve your life, okay? So the first value of this 30,000 feet lens is it allows you to take control of the power of optimistic nihilism. Now, for people who don't understand what nihilism is essentially, and by the way, there's both positive and negative nihilism, but what nihilism is nihilism is basically this idea that who cares? None of it matters. We're all gonna die at the end of the day. Who cares? It's almost like a good way to remember this, instead of just saying nihilism, is denialism. Okay, so like deny. You deny that there's any real value to anything. And there's no value because who cares? Like I said, we're all gonna end up a pile of dust anyway. So what does it matter if I do right, I do wrong, I leave a dent, I don't leave a dent, I become what I should, or I don't become anything? Who cares, okay? Now, pessimistic nihilism would say, who cares, so I won't do anything. I don't care. I'm just gonna sit on my couch, watch porn because it feels good, eat Cheetos because they taste good, and play video games because it gives me a bit of a jolt in my brain, it feels kind of fun. Who cares? I'm gonna end up a pile of dust, so what does it matter what I do? That's pessimistic nihilism, okay? Now, optimistic nihilism is the idea, why not just go ahead and do this? Because what does it matter? At the end of the day, I'm gonna end up a pile of dust. So why don't I go and try and become everything I can become? Because at the end of the day, all I'm gonna become is a pile of dust. You know, I think the best example is in the here and now. Like I said, this lens really helps combat negatives, right? So it's kind of like, you know, something really hurting, something really sucks, someone lied to you, someone deceived you, whatever. It's kind of like, look, at the end of the day, this is a human emotion. What does this emotion really matter to me in this moment? At the end of the day, like I said, we're all gonna end up one with the earth. We're all going to end up buried under the ground. We're all going to end up 6 feet under or cremated or whatever it is. We're all going to end up dust, whatever it is. So I don't need to be that affected by this. I really don't need to be that affected by this, because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. And you get to that optimistic nihilism by zooming out 30,000 feet and realizing that everyone has a world around them. Both they have a world in their head, they also have a world, their neighbors, their neighborhood, their people, their friends. And you have to realize that when you zoom out like that, you begin to see that whatever problem it is that you're dealing with doesn't need to impact you the way it does. It doesn't need to hurt you so bad, because there's so many things going on that this is just one of a million, a trillion of infinite amounts of things that are going on. So you can begin to move past whatever it is that you're struggling with in that moment. Let's say, I've had this tons of times where I'm plugging away on my computer, working on some work for my business, and either a software will break down or something will pop up that will need my attention, and I'll get so frustrated because I tried to time block a video coming soon on how to time block. But what I'm doing is I'm specifically setting time aside to accomplish certain things. I'm trying to record these videos or whatever, and I get a phone call, something like that. And it's so frustrating. I get so angry because I'm like, listen, I set this time aside. I wake up really early, let's say 3:30, 4 in the morning. I wake up to start doing these things, and I get distracted by something out of my control. But you zoom out 30,000 feet, again, and you realize that so many people with so many problems, some of them bigger than yours, some of them smaller than yours. But the point is, you don't need to be that affected by this, because time will move and things will go on. So that's how that 30,000 feet lens can help you take advantage of optimistic nihilism, to realize it doesn't really matter. We're all going to end up at the same place anyway, so I don't need to be that bothered by this. It's no big deal. The next thing that the 30,000 feet view can allow you to do is to see your actions objectively. So when you're having an argument, let's say, it all happens with the best of us. So you argue with your business partner, you argue with your employees, or you have a fight with someone that you really love, it could be a girlfriend, a boyfriend, whatever it is. You're that kind of person that wants to move forward with relationships. You want to create relationships. You believe that what a relationship can become, it must become. You take a second to think, maybe it was my emotional brain, like I spoke about in my past video. It was my emotional brain that was acting, and now your intellectual brain, your emotional brain has turned off a little bit, because now you realize you don't need to fight, you don't need to flee, and you have a little bit of an opportunity to reflect on what you did. You zoom out to that 30,000 foot lens and you think, I had a part to play in that. I had a part to play. I need to go apologize to my business partner, because if he and I continue to just get mad at each other and we keep fucking each other off like that, then it's not going to help the business, not going to help our employees, not going to help us leave a dent in the universe, which is the reason we created the business in the first place. So you zoom out and you look to yourself and you say, I had a part to play. I can zoom out, I can replay that circumstance, and I can see that from a fly on the wall. And I did speak to you rudely. I shouldn't have spoken to you like that. I shouldn't have spoke to you like that in front of the employees. I shouldn't have said that your decision was a bad one, when really I think it's a good one. And I just had an ego investment in my side. Okay, that's another way 30,000 foot lens can help you out. And part of that is recognizing that it's a combination of the first two things I said, right? This is really the last point, is that you realize that your confrontation, your difficulty in the big grand scheme of things is not that big. It's this interesting, it's tilted for us. It's tilted in this interesting way where we're able to look at the problems and the difficulties that we face as not that big of a deal, whatever it is. Even, you might even be losing a loved one. We've all been there. It's difficult. But even that in the grand scheme of things doesn't have to be that big of a thing. Of course, it's important to you and it can motivate you, but recognize that the downsides, the negativity, the bad feelings that you feel inside of you, they don't need to be that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. But on the other side, and this is why I say it's tilted, is because the good things that you bring into the world, you have the opportunity for them to be a huge fucking deal. And that comes from you, again, actualizing the potential that's within you and becoming what you must become. If you have that potential, you must become it. And that's why this channel, this message is so important for someone like you, someone who actually wants to do these big things. With a 30,000 foot lens, you're able to see that the small things that affect you, that make you feel some type of way, make you feel negative, they don't need to be a big thing. They can be relatively small confrontations, relatively small issues, right? But those big things that you want to impact, they can impact. You zoom out 30,000 feet, and if you work hard enough and you use these tips and stuff that I give you in these videos, and you adhere to this, you stay on the train, all these sorts of things that I've said, you have your cornerstone habits, all these sorts of things, you zoom out and you see even at the 30,000 foot level, you've had a huge impact. You zoom out to the 100,000 foot level, million foot level, all these sorts of things, and you see how Earth can be impacted by the potential that you actualize. And that's the value. That's one of the beauties of the 30,000 foot lens. Effectively, in conclusion, it can allow you to minimize the negatives by zooming out to the 30 foot level and realize, listen, this confrontation in my head, in my heart that I'm having with this person or that person in my company, in my relationships, whatever it is, it's not that big of a deal. Oh, I had a bad workout today, and I went to the gym. I've had this. I went to the gym and I had an injury in my knee, something like that, and I wasn't able to lift as heavy as I wanted. Or my elbow was acting up, my shoulder, whatever it is. That sucks, and you're so frustrated for the whole day because you got up, you got yourself to the gym, you got there, and then you had to fuck off because you had an injury that you knew you shouldn't push. Right? You zoom out and you realize it's not that big in the scheme of things. Okay, we'll come back the next day, we'll hit it when I'm healed, we'll be good. You zoom out and you can mitigate and minimize those negative things. But it motivates you because you realize that if you work hard, if you work really, really hard, and you stay on your purpose, stay on your mission, stay on the train, like I've spoken about in previous videos, you can zoom out and see that impact, even at 30,000 feet, you see how small those negatives are, but you see how massive those positives can be. And that's the value of this lens, the 30,000 foot lens. Now, guys, this is the end of this video. I'm going to be coming out with 3 more more videos, I believe, on 3 different lenses. I believe personally that they increase in value. So as you continue to watch these videos, you'll see them increase in value. But if you have them all together, it's more valuable than they could be just by themselves. So I'd recommend that you both go back and watch my intro video that talks about initially the power of lenses and why this is valuable beyond just what you're hearing in this video. I recommend that you go back to that video and you watch that, and that you continue to watch these, because these are true powerhouse tools that you can use to bring yourself to the next level, and it allows you to become what you must become. And this channel isn't for everybody. If you're not someone who really cares that much about leaving a dent in this universe, this isn't really for you, then you know what? You can turn this video off right now. But if you're someone who does care about leaving a dent in this universe, and the last day that you have, you leave as a remembered man, you leave as someone who truly left this world in a better place from a business perspective, with the relationships, the people that you touched, all those sorts of things, then this channel is for you, and these next videos are for you. With that being said, guys, like I said at the beginning of the video, if you like the video, please go ahead and leave a like. It really helps me with the algorithms. Leave a comment down below. If you have any questions you want to ask about this video or anything like that, I'm always open to speaking with you guys and giving you guys my feedback or any suggestions for my next videos. And please also hit the notification bell. That way you can derive as much value from this channel as possible. It'll let you know whenever I upload a video. And again, I'll remind you guys, this video is a part of a series. I guess it'll be 3 or 4 total videos. One is going to be my intro, and then we'll continue into the rest of the lenses. This has been the 30,000 foot lens, but the other lenses I believe are going to be increasing in value, and they'll all be valuable when you put them all together. So I hope you like that. I hope you derive value from this platform. Again, I believe that what you can become, you must become. My name is Spencer, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thank you guys so much for listening.